up and at it before 7 a.m. again. Have to do another 30-mile day. My legs are a little tired, but what can you do? Hopefully getting them moving will loosen them up a bit, and hopefully they feel better. There's more climbing today, so not sure how that's gonna affect me time-wise, but I'm getting pretty fast on the uphills, not as tired. I think being down at this lower elevation really helps. So I'm excited for another day. And yeah, it looks like another bluebird day, at least so far. Okay, so I just actually started listening to some podcasts. I have my headphones back. I didn't have them for weeks. So it's been nice to, put some like music in or like podcasts or something, because listening to your own thoughts every day for hours and hours gets exhausting. But some hikers recommended this one called All Killa No Filla, and it's these two women from like England or something, and they're comedians, but every podcast episode they choose a serial killer and they just talk about him. But they're comedians, so it's like funny, but they're very clear that they're not like making fun of anybody who's been affected by murder or anything like that. But it's probably not like the best thing to listen to when you're alone in the woods, but I listened to like a couple episodes in the morning, and then I'll listen to music later. But it's been so good. So if they just like are talking about like Jack the Ripper and BTK, and today I think I'm gonna listen to ones on Jeffrey Dahmer and then Ted Bundy. But they're like really funny because they just are like insulting these murderers, these serial killers, because like they're dumb and they're egotistical and narcissistic and psychotic and crazy, and they're just like making these jokes. But they also go into details about the serial killers, and it's just really fascinating. So that's what I'm doing in the woods. But yeah, we'll see how the episodes are. Today I'm going to listen to some right now. So nothing better to get my morning started than some serial killer talk. Okay, so the All Killa No Filla podcast, I actually listened to one on Elizabeth Bathory. It was like, she was born like the 1500s, and it was, I think she's from Hungary or something like that. But she like, I guess would torture like peasant girls. And she like supposedly killed like 650 of them. So I listened to that one, and then I just listened to the Ted Bundy one, which a lot of that stuff happened near Seattle, where I live. Next, I'm gonna listen to Jeffrey Dahmer, and then I'll be done for the day on my serial killer podcast. But they were talking about like, and I'm sorry if this is bothersome to some people, but they're talking about Ted Bundy up in Washington, like right outside of Seattle, like in the woods, where he would put a lot of the bodies, and they called it Bundy's like graveyard or whatever. And I'm just like in the woods myself, like by myself, just like in this kind of setting, and I'm like, oh, this is a little creepy. And also I'm like, I wonder if I've been near that area, because I go hiking and backpacking a lot right outside of Seattle. So yeah, not sure why I'm doing this to myself, but it's really interesting, just fascinating. I don't know why. Anyway, that's my life for now. It's been pretty much majority of downhill this morning. I still have a few more miles of downhill. And then some hikers get off at this road and head into Sierra City. Oh, here comes Crouton. One sec. Okay, I'm back. I was just telling Crouton all about All Killa No Filla. he's gonna check it out. Anyway, some hikers get off at this road that goes into Sierra City, and then resupply there, maybe stay there, and then they just push to Chester. So some people I've been seeing are getting off today, but I think a couple people are going to keep pushing, which would be nice because maybe I'll still have people around. Yeah, still a little spooked from my mountain lion thing. I didn't see it, but Jackrabbit this morning was like, I don't want to say anything to you, but did you see more of that fresh mountain lion scat on the trail yesterday? And I was like, no. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I didn't want to bring it up just in case. And I'm like, I'm not like worried about it in the sense of like, they live out here. I'm in like bear territory, mountain lion territory. I'm just like in nature. So it's like, it's fine. But it still just has me a little like freaked out. Because even last night, I'm like camping near people. But like, you just hear new sounds all the time. Like there was even just a bird. At first we thought it was maybe a coyote, but it was a new bird, just like making these new weird sounds for like an hour. And like, took me a while to go to sleep. But I just think about like, if I'm alone and I hear that, and you've never heard that sound before, and it's just like creepy. I don't know. I even asked some guys, I'm like, do you ever get creeped out in some camp spots? And people very often say yes. So I know it's not just me, and it's not just a female thing, like, oh, being alone. It's like everybody gets creeped out. So anyway, I'm hoping I can still be around some people tonight. If not, I mean, you just suck it up. But anyway, yeah, still trying to push for a big day today and tomorrow to give myself less of a big day on Friday when I have to meet my mom. I mean, it'll still be at least in between 20 and 25 miles. But, yeah, that's about it, you guys. Can't believe I'm almost to the halfway mark. I'm actually excited to be doing bigger mile days and pushing myself more physically. Yeah, but we'll see. I really, I know I've talked about this before, but I really think there's going to be something really cool about hitting the halfway mark and knowing that I'm closer to Canada than Mexico. I just think it'll do something for my brain. Like, I'm a procrastinator sometimes with some things. It's very odd. I'm a very extreme person with things, but some things I'm a procrastinator with, like in school. But sometimes, like, I am more efficient and do better work when I'm like have this strict timeline, even if I did it to myself. Like in school, when I would have to like code something that took some people 2 weeks, I would have maybe 6 hours, and I would stay up all night and I would just code something like in that time frame, and it was great. Whereas probably not as good if I spent 2 weeks doing it. So my point is I have less time to do more miles, but I think for me mentally that works well. Like I'm ready to like do it. So yeah, that's what I'm telling myself anyway. I just saw the craziest lizard. I think it was a lizard, not a little snake, but it was literally shiny, like metallic, and it was like half blue, like bright blue, and then half it was like gold or silver. That was nuts. I was trying to see if I could get it on video, but it wiggled away too soon. That was so cool. I have to look that up. Okay, I just ate lunch and now my feet are elevated because they hurt. I'm trying to muster up motivation to do this 8-mile climb. Oh boy, it's right out of Sierra City, so I'm like a little bit above the road. Yeah. And it's like noon, so it's like hot, and I get to do this for several hours in the heat of the day, just climbing and climbing. Yay! All right, I'm doing this climb right out of Sierra City, and I just stopped at Switchback Spring to get some water. It's like a little tiny side trail that I took, and I'm down there and I'm, getting my water, and then I sit down to filter, and I'm like sitting there and like start filtering, and out of nowhere, this like swarm of wasps come to drink water, but they're flying around me like crazy, and they're just trying to drink water, but wasps are like kind of terrifying. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this here. So I like gently try to like leave and filter water up the hill. And then I wanted to go get more water, but there was like twice as many. And I was like, you know what? Dehydration doesn't look too bad right now. So I just decided not to get more water. And then I go up to my pack and I'm getting situated, and there's just like wasps flying everywhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why? And they're like, being curious around me and my pack. But they were pretty much leave me alone. And then I can hear gunshots in the background, like someone's just, shooting. I don't know where. It seems really close. And they just keep, you can probably hear them, firing shots. And I'm like, what is happening? I'm like out in the woods, and then all of a sudden there's like hundreds of wasps and gunshots, and my oh my. The Sierra has been so incredibly beautiful, but I am so over this being the trail because I just rolled my ankle again, and there's no way to go fast. I've almost really hurt myself. I trip all the time. I just really cannot wait until it's just like normal trail again. I'm like, I don't like it anymore. I'm over it. I was hoping that helicopter was coming to rescue me, because who times their day to do this 8-mile climb fully exposed at the hottest part of the whole day? I came around the corner and saw the trail keeps going with no shade. But the good news is that I've hit 1,200 miles, and there's this very large pine cone. This is the coldest water I've had on trail in a very long time, and it's come at the best time, because never, and I mean never, ever, ever, do the climb out of Sierra City in the middle of the day, because that was one of the most unpleasant 4 hours of my life. 3.5 hours. Maybe not of my life, but of the trail, we'll say. And some of the streams that were flowing like 2 weeks ago weren't flowing anymore. So I had to ration about 1/8 of a liter of water for a couple miles in the heat with like full exposure and climbing, and I was just dripping sweat and miserable. So never do that climb in the middle of the day. Always in the morning or at night. But there is a stream like right at the top here, and it looks like a lot of it's like in the shade. Like hidden by all these bushes, and it's really cold and amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think my 30's happening today. I just was averaging less than 2 miles an hour. And now I'm gonna sit here and chug a ton of water. And it's already really late in the day, so at this point, like, I'm traumatized. So signs from the trail. Okay, it's 8:30 p.m. and I decided to push for the next campsite, which will make me get my 30-mile dig. But I'm not gonna lie, if I see some friends between here and there, I'm probably gonna stop. But I'm just pushing it because it's gonna get dark soon and I'm gonna have to night hike. And I'm obviously alone, and I keep going through dense forest and then kind of out of it, and I don't know, I'm just still a little spooked because of the mountain lion thing. So I'm just trying to hurry so I don't have to night hike for too long. But pretty soon I'm gonna get my headlamp on and my glasses and all that just to get ready. But yeah, 2 more miles. Gosh, it's crazy what you can do when you allow your mind to agree to it. The place I was gonna camp, I kind of told myself before, like, if your friends are there, stop and be thankful. But then I was like, you know, if they're not there, keep pushing. They may not even be at the next tent site, I might be alone, but it was just my way of trying to like push myself. And lo and behold, I got to the campground and there's no one there, so I was like, dang it, and here I am.